Okay, this thing on? Check 1 2 3, check 1 2. Alright, good morning, gamers, and welcome to episode 8, I think, something like that, of my Let's Play on the Luvstar fan Discord beta SMP. I really need to take less time between these videos because sometimes when it's been a while it can feel a little awkward in the beginning. Just firing up the recording here and getting on, I'm like, man, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing here, but hopefully there will be some things of interest in the video. What should we do first? I have something at the back of my house here. First of all, there's some doors. There's like a little porch here, but there's also whatever the heck that is. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Trust me. All in due time. We'll get there. But first, before we get to the project that has begun, I think it is most pertinent to address the project that has been completed. The project that was very nearly completed at the time that I made the last video. And that last video was kind of short and a little pointless, so sorry about that. If I had realized just how little effort it would have taken to fully complete the Scotsman before then, I probably just would have waited for that. Anyhow, am I missing anything here that I should point out? Probably. Well, I mean, besides the minecart tracks, yeah. Kepler's base is looking very holly and jolly. Oh, I don't think I talked about this. This is so interesting to me. You ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head? So, ignore this sign for now. Someone left this sign 10 days ago on December 7th saying, I may have been the last person to join ever. Which is not true. Whoever left this sign was in fact not the last person to ever join. And I really don't know like where they got the server IP. Perhaps from the description of like a VOD of one of Luvstar's streams or something like that. And at the time they joined, they were the only person online, and I'm assuming they had no idea about the like Discord server or the integration for that, because if they did, they would have clearly seen that there were loads of people on just mere hours before they were. They also would have seen loads of people on mere hours afterwards as well. But this is just so cool to me from the perspective of like, this is definitely some like corny shit I would have said. If I had thought that I like found some sort of ancient abandoned internet relic or something, right? I would have, I would have had nothing better to do. I would have been scrolling through some VODs of one of my favorite YouTubers that I would have not actually been Jesus Christ, I thought I heard a creeper. I would have not actually been that involved with, and I would have found an IP in the description, and I would have joined it, and I would have been like, wow, nobody's here. This is so nostalgic and liminal, TM. And I then would have said something like that, none the wiser that it was actually still a very much alive and bustling server. Um, so yeah, I kind of view this not as cringe, but more as like a gateway into somebody's brain. I don't know. What do you think about that? Maybe I'm overthinking it or something. But let's go to spawn. What's happening at spawn? So okay, well, like I said, I'm not gonna talk about the minecart tracks just yet, but I have left a sign here. Please leave extra minecarts at stations, and by leave extra minecarts, I don't just mean leave your minecart that you are using, I mean like bring donations because I really want all the chests like at every station or junction or whatever to be full of minecarts so that nobody ever has to worry about it. But I am now out of iron, so I can't do that. So if you want there to be a surplus of minecarts like I do, any help would be much appreciated, very much appreciated. What else? Oh, hey, here, this is more important than my stupid minecarts. It's for what color the towel slash umbrella will be from a new player, I believe. I don't know if they had been on. Maybe they'd just been on for a little bit at the time of the recording of the previous episode. Catsy, aka Catsart, aka Cat with 2 T's, not to be confused with Ket with an E and 1 T. Catsy is a relatively new player, and they have a very cool base with a very cool beach that they have invited the entire server to. So if you want, you can just take a sign here, plunk it down somewhere in this area, and they will build you a like a beach towel and an umbrella sort of thing on their beach. Oh yeah, excuse me. They explained it all right here. Sorry for mansplaining their entire concept right there for them. Anyhow, anyhow, let's get to the thing that we've all been waiting for, and by we I mean me, and that is this. It's done. It's done. The whole thing's done, at least to my standards. I'm sure Ket is going to be like, oh, well, actually, the wall right there is looking really plain. I feel like you should have added some detail to that. I don't think it's really finished. Me. Yeah, okay, fine, sure, Ket. I'll do that later. No, I won't. I won't do it later. Okay. I added this little viewing area as well, with some signs here that you can read. But yeah, so speaking of last video and how pointless it was, based on some viewer feedback, I have come to a realization that perhaps I have been under-explaining certain things, and I think that goes back to the idea of me, to an extent, wanting to make the sort of videos that I would want to watch. And the problem with that in the realm of having a niche interest that needs to be explained is that if this were a video that I would want to watch, like I would want it to have niche information that I don't know yet, right? I don't want to watch a video where it's just explaining the same things that I already know. But nobody else knows anything about this. And I have not been doing a very good job of explaining it. So, yeah, as the signs say here, the Flying Scotsman was basically the poster child of the LNER, which is the London and Northeastern Railway. I think in another video I did actually explain that that was formed. It's a real railway. It's in Britain. It doesn't exist anymore because it was nationalized in like 1947, something like that. Um, but yeah, anyway, the Flying Scotsman. So the name is kind of important because that is not only the name of the locomotive, but also the name of the service that it like worked, right? Which was a non-stop run from, I think it was London to Edinburgh, which it would do. I think it took about 8 hours. Anyway, so that was like kind of a famous rail service, and then they decided to name one of the locomotives after the service, is basically the way I understand it. So obviously this wasn't the only engine working that line, right? There would have been others just like it, but with different names as well. Anyhow, the big question that I think people probably have is, why does it have two tenders? And that's an excellent question. It wasn't built with two tenders. It was built with one tender. In fact, it wasn't even built with that tender. This was... So yeah, ignore the second one for now. We're going to go back to like around the time it was built, around 1923. And it was first built with a very conventional tender. By the way, this, again, it kind of feels like something that to me is like, oh yeah, everybody knows that. I should explain. The primary function of a tender for a steam locomotive is to carry water. They also carry fuel. They have, Flying Scotsman burns coal as its fuel, so it also has a lot of coal in it, but primarily it's for water. Water is, in general, much, 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 much more important than fuel. That's not to say fuel isn't also extremely important, but the water is extremely important in railway operations. Anyhow, that's more relevant for the second tender. We'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, the first tender that it was originally built with was pretty normal looking, but the thing is, an 8-hour non-stop run from London to Edinburgh is kind of a long time to be going non-stop. So what they did was, about a year, maybe not even a year, it might have just been a couple months, or not even that long even, I'm not 100% sure, after it was built, they redesigned the tenders for this class of locomotive into corridor tenders. So basically, there's a hallway in this. Not in my version of it because I'm too lazy to build that, but so yeah, imagine the second tender is not there, and imagine that's hooked up directly to a coach. The relief crew for the engine would be able to walk, straight from that coach into the tender and then through the tender onto the footplate there, which is kind of wild. And that's why the design of the tenders is so boxy, basically. Anyhow, fast forward from 1923 to 1963, British Rail is already in the process of getting rid of all of their steam locomotives because, diesels are the future. They're better in every way. They're way more efficient and cleaner and easier to run. Not all of the ones that British Rail was buying and building. Some of those were kind of not good at all. But, in theory, they were better. But a lot of people were kind of sad about all the steam locomotives getting scrapped, and they thought, hey, for historical purposes, we might ought to preserve some of these, especially some very well-beloved ones, such as this. So a fellow by the name of Alan Pegler bought the Flying Scotsman from British Rail for, I think it was like £3,000, which is crazy. Man, if I could buy a whole Steam engine for like $3,000, yeah, I'd do that. I wouldn't have anywhere to put it though, is the problem, right? Like it's, yeah. Anyway, and very quickly he ran into a problem where, because British Rail was scrapping all of their steam engines, they were also scrapping all of the infrastructure for their steam engines. And what did I just say is really important for steam engines? Well, water, right? And they were scrapping all of the water towers. So there were a lot fewer places that, when Alan Pegler on occasion would have permission to run this, like, it was a challenge to even get from anywhere to anywhere else without running out of water. So, what he did was he just bought another tender and converted it to like purely hold water. Um, and this is actually kind of a practice that we still see in use today, at least in videos I've seen. I'm pretty sure that when, here in the States, in the US, when Union Pacific 4014 Big Boy goes on tour, it actually has not two, but three tenders in total that it carries, and two of those, again, are just for water. Especially because, like, even if there is like a place where it can get water, like I think there have actually been stories of it um like detrimentally dropping the water pressure in a small towns if it fills up there. So like it can't, it's like not even allowed, um or I don't know about not allowed, but like not supposed to even get too much at once, even if it had the capacity for it, which is kind of wild. Anyhow, yeah, let's talk about the railway series again. Again, kind of basic information, but the railway series is now, sadly, was the book series that the television series Thomas and Friends was based on. It was started in 1945 by the Reverend W. Awdry and went to through 1972, I think, and then in like the 90s, it was actually recontinued by his son Christopher Awdry. I'm gonna head to a bed to sleep right now, real quick. Anyhow, I think that when at least for me personally, right, when you look at like Thomas as a show, it kind of feels like, oh, it's, because the TV series didn't start until the 80s, right? And it didn't even, at least for my perception of it, I mean, not that I was born in the 90s, but it didn't even come to America until like the 90s, right? And so I think there's kind of this perception of it of like, oh, it was, meant to portray how things were, back in the day when steam engines were still a thing, right? But what you have to remember is that it was being written in the 40s and 50s and 60s, right? When, at least in Britain, steam engines were still being widely used, right? So it was not meant to be this like historical account of things. It was very much centered around current events. It was like if it had been going on today, they probably would have, I don't know, talked about like the Ever Given getting stuck in the Suez Canal or some shit, right? Like that's that's the sort of thing. Well, I don't know. That's very tangentially related to like shipping or whatnot, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Anyhow, so basically, in sort of the 60s, the late 60s, which is when this exact condition is based on. That's sort of when. So that's sort of when the Railway series was in its really dark and edgy and fucked up era, as I would like to put it. Which kind of started with, I want to say it started about the time that Peter and Gunvor Edwards took over as illustrators, which gave us such glorious illustrations as these that you are seeing on screen right now. And basically, it was kind of a gloomy time because, well, you have, put yourself in the shoes of the author. You have this beloved series based on all these steam engines that, children are continuing to read, and the children are seeing less and less and less steam engines out in the wild. And they're probably writing distressed letters to this author saying, hey, basically, they're probably saying, is Thomas going to die? And the Reverend Audrey has to come up with an answer to that, which is obviously going to be no. But he wants to address the reality of the situation and provide sort of a response to it. And basically, that's kind of at least my interpretation of book number, I forgot which one, Enterprising Engines, which is considered by a lot of people, including myself, to be the best one. The best book in the series. I highly, 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 highly recommend that you either find it on the Internet Archive or go to New Controller 01 on YouTube, which has the audiobook versions with the illustrations timed to the voice, all available for free on YouTube. Yeah, I know I sound crazy, encouraging people to go read a children's book or whatever. I would never just out of the blue recommend people, oh yeah, go read the first Railway series book. No, it's probably not going to be of much value to you. But Enterprising Engines is actually really good. It's to the point that there are contrarians who think people like me suck, and because I'm picking the obvious answer, right? That's how good it is. It's obviously yeah. Anyway, the first story, I think it's the first story, I'm gonna look like a dumbass if it's not, of the book is Tenders for Henry, which has surprisingly little to do with Henry. Mostly has to do with Gordon, who starts the story depressed because everybody is dying. He, like everyone else, is seeing fewer and fewer steam engines out in the wild, and the other engines on the shed are saying, oh yeah, you feel bad, you're probably sick or something, whatever. And he's like, no, that's not it. And he meets the Fat Controller, Sir Topham Hatt, the second or third, I don't remember, on the platform one day, and he says, man, I love this line. He says, I keep thinking about the dreadful state of the world, sir. Is it true, sir, what the diesels say? What do they say? They boast, sir, that they've abolished steam. Yes, Gordon, it is true. So, yeah, basically, Gordon finds out in that moment that all of the other, such as the one you're looking at right now, all of the other Gresley A1 Pacifics have been scrapped. and he has no more living brothers except one. And this, the Flying Scotsman, is the one, which the Fat Controller in the story then decides to arrange with Alan Pegler to have the Flying Scotsman fictionally visit Sodor and, cheer Gordon up and make him less depressed. And then if you're wondering why the story is called Tenders for Henry, basically after that, Henry gets jealous of the Flying Scotsman's two tenders, and Duck tricks Henry into taking 6 old, rusted out, filthy tenders for himself, and then he parades through the yard with all of those for everybody to see, and is very embarrassed about it, which leads into the next story, Super Rescue, which I will not give you a synopsis of because it doesn't have anything to do with the Flying Scotsman, but it's also really good. One of the best, in my opinion, stories of the Railway series, often cited as probably like the best one that never got made into a TV series episode, which is really disappointing. But yeah, speaking of TV series episode, the TV series episode for Tenders for Henry is not good and doesn't do the story justice whatsoever. I think I kind of alluded to that in, might have been last episode, but yeah. The book was better. The book's always better. That's a lie. The book is not always better. Most of the TV series actually is way, way better than the books, purely just for the fact that it is like, more of a, well, I don't know if animated is the right term, but, you have the video format, I think lends itself much better to the stories so that you can actually see things moving, right? Anyhow, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Something else. You know how I was talking? God, it's been like, what, probably 30 minutes now? Everybody's probably screaming at me to talk about this. and I'm just nerding out over my creation. I'm sorry if you like want me to like walk up to this and like get different angles or whatever. I don't know, if you want to do that, just come on the server and like do that yourself. Have a look around. Yeah. Like you don't need me to do that. You can look at it yourself. There's nothing interesting really to see anywhere. Like it's all hollow on the inside. There's no like Easter eggs or anything. It pretty much just is what you see. It is just a huge model at a very, very large scale. Anyhow, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was talking in one of my other videos about the wooden toys of Flying Scotsman. First of all, the boiler bands being yellow, not at all accurate to any livery that the Flying Scotsman has worn, except I think I figured out why. I think I figured out why they made them yellow, which was because of this illustration, which you are seeing on screen right now, which takes place at sunset. So, like, everything is, like, cast in this, golden light, including the white boiler bands on Scotsman, which are then, illustrated to be yellow in the Edwards's, more stylized style, which I'm a huge fan of, but it also has interesting consequences when you take it at face value. And then the other thing, which I am not the first person to point this out by any means, is the face. The face that's used on that wooden railway Flying Scotsman, both the 1999 and 2013 editions, is from an illustration from Tenders for Henry, but it's not Scotsman's face. It's Henry's face. They got the wrong great engine, which is so quirky, and it's kind of funny how that like weird winking expression has in so many people's minds, including my own, become linked with associated with the Flying Scotsman, even though it was absolutely never intended to be. So yeah, I think that is enough for now, or maybe ever, for the Flying Scotsman, and now we can go on to other interesting things, which is the railway, the operational railway that I have been building to link certain parts of the map to other parts of the map, because finally some people have decided, hey, I don't want to build 2 feet away from someone else right here at spawn. I want to go stake my claim somewhere out on the frontier. So currently I have 3 lines planned. This one here goes to the northwest to Kat and Tori, who has recently started playing, and we will definitely see what she's been up to, which is pretty exciting. And then this line is going to go to the I think we're calling it the Gayborhood, in kind of the northeast direction. I have not built this one yet. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are breathing down my neck right now to get started on it, but frankly, the thing is, I feel by far the least urgency to construct this line, because I feel like a lot of people do not have the need to get to the Gayborhood because they are already in the Gayborhood. It's already very much a bustling and well-traveled section of the server that has, to this point, survived just fine without a rail line, although it will have one eventually, I promise. Just, don't hold your breath, okay? And then this is probably going to be by far the longest line, which goes to Pofty's Nature Preserve, which I don't think I've ever shown on video. It's a ways away, and then, just between you and me, I actually have some plans to continue it even further beyond that, perhaps to even another place where I might start living. Anyhow, let's go ahead and hop on the track and see where it takes us. So this right here, this first section, was the first one that I constructed, and I think it's one of the worst. And I'll point out some reasons why, probably on the way back. But yeah, I kind of wanted to make the station inside the Scotsman, or maybe inside the kind of plinth thing right there, but I didn't want to have to deal with the cramped spaces, so I just tore down the tree farm because there's a better tree farm somewhere else and put it there. So yeah, this line, so a good part of it though that I do like is that I integrated the design here with this checkerboard, and then even brought it around here. So yeah, this is just an intentional stop because I didn't want it to go too far in any one direction without people being able to get off, because I don't want people to have to get off midway through the line, and then you have to awkwardly put your minecart back down and bump it to get it going, and then it's hard to catch it and get back in it, right? But anyhow, this part of the line I'm very proud of, because look at that grade right there. I mean, granted, it is still 20%, but That's a whole lot more realistic than 100%. And then, it goes along here, along this viaduct. And, uh, yeah, I didn't build that. I just built, hold on, where did my minecart go? There we go. I just built this little station here. Um, I don't know if anybody recognizes what it's based on, but yeah, I can only take credit for that. Tori has in the mansions popping up on the server overnight department, Tori has seriously given me a run for my money. Because I'm pretty sure this wasn't even started like a week ago. And now it's already like, I don't know, hey, by my standards, I would say it's done. But I don't know what she thinks of it. Anyhow, yeah, this is crazy impressive. It looks so good. I mean, sorry for being so self-centered to compare everything to things that I've done, but like when I when I built my mansion, I was like, everybody was like, oh wow, this looks so cool, and I couldn't help but think, really, I kind of designed it to look like shit. It was supposed to look like a hasty, shitty, tacky McMansion that some new money tycoon millionaire would have bought, and that probably would have fallen apart within 10 years, right? That's what I designed my mansion to look like. But this is the real deal right here. I mean, this is a proper domicile, if I do say so myself, which I do. Going inside, I told her that she should leave some grass on the floor, and I really didn't think she would do that, but I'm glad she did because it looks good. I like it, at least. I like grass. Hold on. No way! No way! Unlocked chests. Hey, we can look in chests again. Anybody remember episode 1 when I was when I was looking in everybody's chests? Anyhow, you see that? Oh, yeah, sorry, you probably didn't even notice the cocoa beans. You probably just noticed the apples, the copious amounts of apples. Yeah, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on what you think about his Twitter account, Notch has not joined the server. Actually, he has. That was kind of funny. I'll put that screenshot. But Notch has not joined the server. The reason we have so many apples now is because Ket installed a mod that makes it so that leaves drop apples. And also cocoa beans, and also very, 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 very rarely golden apples. So yeah, you might start seeing those crop up in people's inventories from time to time. Anyhow, excuse me, Tori has a neighbor who is Cat, who lives over here, and their base is kind of a maze. And also, this video is kind of, oh god, I really hate to be that guy and not Tor that, but this video is kind of going on for a while, so I think I will just tour Cat's kind of resort area here with their custom beach, which I don't know if anybody else is impressed by this, but if not, you should be, because this did not used to be a beach. This is all artificial, this sand here. So like, yeah, from like here up, like all this sand was placed by hand, which is very impressive. And this is the beach that I was talking about at Spawn, where it's like you can have them like put down a spot for you. This is mine. I think I kind of misunderstood the assignment. I thought we were supposed to build them ourselves, so I like Instead of just like putting the sign saying what I wanted, I just like came down here and plunked all this down myself. But I am, frankly, I'm feeling a little bit lonely. Like I don't know if people just don't want to like make it cramped or whatever, but I don't know. I kind of feel like nobody wants to sit at my lunch table, if you know what I mean. So yeah, you're more than welcome to place your umbrella like right next to mine, if anybody wants to. You don't have to, no pressure, but you know, the offer stands, right? So anyhow, I'm getting very tired at this point, and I kind of wanted to hear, but I did promise that I would explain a couple of things as to the condition of the railway, and that's basically just I want to avoid having as many like super steep gradients in terms of like going up and down as possible, but more than that, I guess just like trying to make it look like a relatively realistic rail line. And oh shit, hold on, is this gonna have momentum? Maybe. Something that I kind of notice with a lot of people, and you know, to be fair, I did this too as well with the first part that I built, and we'll see that here in a second. A lot of people kind of just like place the tracks, you know, right on the ground. And I'm not talking about having like a gravel like ballast like I do in some areas. It's not that. It's about like having the track like just like cling filmed to the floor is not very realistic, because you wouldn't want to have your engine going like up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. You see how here it comes down and then it comes down to here, but then it goes back up again. And you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe it needs to go back up again. But it doesn't, because after it goes back up, it goes right back down. So what I need to do is I need to come in here and level that out, bring that down a notch. And then there's also, I think, a couple more areas where I need to do that. Oh, and another thing. Hold on. Yeah, so I need to not have it be so wavy. And then also, the thing that bugs me the most is right here. This corner, this sharp, hard 90-degree corner. Ew, gives me such an ick. That is a, like, yeah, no, that would not work at all in real life. I don't know, the wheel flanges on these minecarts must be, Cully. No, not the flanges, the tires must be like a foot wide for them to negotiate that, what, like 1 meter radius curve. Yeah, that's something. I don't think I'll be able to find a picture of this. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about, but like I saw this in like Scars, Good Times with Scars, train that he built last season, season 10 in Hermitcraft. Part of the track like turned to, you know, 90 degrees to go into the mountain. But it was just like that. It was just like a sharp, like hard, the track just suddenly, you know, makes a right angle. Oh god, it looked so awful. I hated it. No offense to Good Times with Scar, but yeah, I guess that's where we'll end this video. This has been a pretty special one, so I really do hope you enjoyed it. That's all from me. Good night.